Yeah. But I mean, what changed is that like when I moved to Arizona, like it really, I got a lot of pressure from like every fucking person there. Like, dude, come on, you can't be microwaving chicken nuggets and eating them with goldfish. You know what I'm saying? In college.
Well, that's what they eat in college, but like it was.
Yeah, but at every meal, bro.
Yeah, okay.
Oh god.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Realtor Chronicles. On today's episode, we have Matt. Tell them what you do.
What's up, guys? I'm in IT sales. That's what I do for a living.
And well, we met back in elementary school.
We did.
Probably in first grade.
Shit, yeah. Yeah.
So what was going on like with all that? Like, I remember like seeing you all through the years. You played soccer.
Yep.
You played like Park District, and then you played Storm.
Yeah.
Never made it to Storm. It was too much.
Oh, what, you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too much money.
Did we play in-house together?
Yes.
We did.
I won. Well, we won I won the championship the first year, and then I saw you.
Was I in your team when we won?
You never were on my team.
Really?
I was the Lions and the Yellow Lions, and then something.
I can't believe you remember that. The Red Dragons.
No, I wasn't part of that team.
No? Okay.
But then we did that, and then we went to middle school.
Yeah. Jefferson.
And then you used to live in that house.
Yeah.
So why did you guys end up selling that house?
So what happened, we graduated back in 2015, right? And so my parents were just like, we want to move to Arizona really bad. And so what ended up happening is that when I went to college at GCU in Phoenix, my parents were like, hey, you know what, I'm going to take this opportunity to move to Arizona as well because we have my dad's side of the family there. Just like the environment there, like we've always loved it when we visit my family out there, like once a year,
How was like changing now? Because you've always lived in Illinois. Now you're in Arizona.
Yeah. So what ended up happening then is, after high school, went to college in Phoenix, and every summer I'd come back, hang out with you guys. I lived with my grandparents for one summer actually, which is kind of wild. But then when my parents moved back after, it was 10 months.
Why did they move back?
So my dad, he does upholstery. So like fixes car seats, all of that. And he, there's just not a lot of jobs out there, not a lot of business. Because if you think about Arizona, there's not a lot of like boats and lots of lakes for him to do the work that he needs to do, right? And so, given the lack of demand,
opportunity,
correct?
Demand,
He's like, you know what, I need to move back, and so then he moved back a lot earlier actually, and lived in Illinois, working for the guy that he sold his business to after because he had his own business for 18 years plus, and so moved back, and that's when my sisters and my mom followed him back too, which. Pretty crazy to think about.
Did they go to school out there, your sisters?
They did for 1 year. I can't imagine going to DGS, or Alyssa went to Jefferson, right? Imagine going to DGS, leaving for a year, thinking that, like, hey, screw you guys, I'm out of here, and then end up going back to DGS after a year.
They're like, hey, what's up?
That's just wild.
How you guys doing?
So crazy.
Was GCU your first choice?
Yeah, it was after I visited, because what they did, which was smart as hell, my first year going there, so in 2015, 2016, they were a for-profit college at the moment, and they just like funded so much just for a lot of crap, right? So one of their programs that they actually flew me out when I was in high school for free, and we like toured the college and did all of that, and after doing that, I'm like, you know what, man, I need to go here. I need to.
No, the campus was amazing. Did I go on your senior or junior year?
You went my junior year welcome week, which is like the freaking craziest partying weeks possible, and that was wild, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, I saw one dude beat up 8 guys with like pepper spray. We went to a party. People were dancing on the roof. the police
We
came.
jumped off the roof. Yeah,
The
helicopters
police came with 2 helicopters. They locked on the street. We were like running away. Like
we had all the booze in our hand
all
too.
the booze in our hands. We were like running down the street. You had to make me an ID to get back into your college.
Yep.
And the picture that he used was the picture of me at the Cubs game, and they just copied my name in, and I was just like, "What is going on here?" And then like you showed it, and they're like, "Come right in." And I was like, "Cool,
yeah,
let's go."
Yeah.
And then we had what's the taco spot out there in Arizona?
Taco Meach.
Taco Meach
And Filiberto's.
Filiberto's.
We had one of the two.
We had like the taco fries.
Oh,
amazing.
the carne asada fries.
Carne asada
You
fries.
had like the guac. You had sour cream, which I don't like sour cream, but and then you got cheese, the fries, the steak. Damn, that place is good.
It was. And then going out there to the trip, it was like a 2-day trip driving. We went
24 and a half hours.
Yeah, well, we went the south route instead of going towards Colorado. We went down towards Texas.
Yeah.
So I got to see that side of the country, which I never got to see before. And then I never knew New Mexico is hilly or mountainy.
Yep.
All the way. Like it breaks from like Texas to New Mexico, just kind of like you like see and then it's like where's the road, and all of a sudden you drop down into the valley and you're going through the mountains.
It's like a roller coaster, man.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. And then going into like Arizona, I didn't know Arizona was like mountains and
everywhere,
snow up top.
Yep.
And then desert at the bottom half of it. So that was kind of interesting coming down from there.
Yeah, that was a wild experience for sure.
I want to take another road trip like that way. I know my car can make it. Car can make it.
If I were driving in a few weeks when I move back, I would totally be down to do that. You know, that'd be cool.
But I don't want to take like more time. Like do like a 3-day.
Yep. Go the north route too.
Yeah.
That would be very sick.
But I think I'm probably gonna end up doing something like that. Maybe like next year, like I'll get my car and just drive down somewhere.
Yeah, do that, man.
Well, but I'll go to like Seattle. And then from Seattle, come down and come see you.
I would be so down to meet you up in Seattle, though.
Because I've never been. It's expensive to fly, but I was like, I want to just see what's going on.
Fucking drive out there.
Go straight across, go through Montana and stuff.
Yep.
See all that stuff.
Yeah. Because speaking of Montana, too, I was there a few months ago for Yellowstone and the Tetons. Thanks to Austin Blitzky, who actually, recommended that.
Just don't do that. They can hear it on the mic. When you...
Oh, okay.
It's not going to matter, but...
Oh, gotcha.
I know, like, when you mess with stuff near the mic, you can hear it.
Oh.
But so you went to Yellowstone.
Yep. Went there in Grand Teton.
What's that like? I've never been to the national park. Oh, yeah, the major.
Yellowstone, they were, like, obviously a lot of fun, right? Like the glaciers. Like, who would have thought that these, like, sandy bubbles and, like, freaking water just flying at once every, like, hour and a half, 2 hours.
Now, is it just one big spring, or is it a bunch of springs, like, those just be like, oh, stand back?
There's one big one, but then there's a lot of, like, smaller ones that you just see throughout, like, the different, just throughout the land, per se.
And then you have to stay on the path, right? You can't go off path because else you could break in and fall.
Yeah, you can't really go off path, because Yellowstone, it's, like, it's a national park that's, like, heavily,
Well, I feel like you can't go off path because of that. I feel like other national parks, there's like you just gotta watch out for bears and
that's
and,
Grand Teton. That's where you see all the bears and stuff, and you see lots of bison in Yellowstone. From what I experienced, yeah, it's pretty fun.
I'm gonna go there in the Grand Canyon, but then afterwards, so you moved out to Arizona.
Yeah. Okay. Go back to normal.
Back.
Yeah. I moved back. I graduated a semester early, so I graduated. December 2018, and I took a job in downtown Chicago in the first week of January, man. And it's cool as hell.
Now, tell people about that, because I thought it was very interesting that you didn't sell anything. You weren't able to sell one thing in a few months.
Dude.
I know, like, your price range was, like, $50,000 plus.
Yeah.
And you had to find, like, people to buy it, but explain, like, what you were doing.
Yeah, so I kind of took the first job out of college. I was like, you know what? I need the experience. And so this job, it was like a Chicago sports management packaging to where, like, let's say if you're rich and you want to host your top clients and thank them for buying your product, right? They like what we do is we offer all the hospitality and the the drinks, food, all of that to different sporting events like the Masters or what I was selling at that time was the 2020. I think it was 2020, the Whistling Straits, which is like a big golf tournament that I'm sure if you golf fans out there, you know more about than me. And so that job consists of 150 phone calls a day to 200 plus $1 million companies, to VPs, presidents, the top dogs, right? So imagine making 150 phone calls a day, and if you reach 8 people, like the decision maker, 8 times in that day, like that's considered good. Like you're doing, you're hitting your metrics, right?
So how often?
Yeah.
How often did people actually sell to these people? Like, did you have successful people in your company, or is it just like?
Dude, like the reps or the people that actually would sell, they only sold like once or twice, which
For a year?
Yeah. And you're making 25 grand a year. So that's like 1,300 a month after tax.
Damn.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a good job.
Oh, not at all. But the one thing that really helped me with my career now is that job really taught you like the cutthroat sales, like not to say no, like no one's stepping on my feet anymore. Like all my emotion and all my like, scaredness of calling people went completely out the door after that job.
I mean, I feel like for even like real estate, I was calling a lot. And it just got to be like a game. It's like mostly like, who would pick up?
Yeah.
It was mostly like, they were like, oh, you sound surprised I picked up. I'm like, yeah, not that many people do.
Yo, no one ever picks up, man, for whatever reason.
But I've had some interesting like cold call experiences, like I've called the number and then the person calling back is like, this is my real daughter's phone. I'm like, yo, I apologize. Are you trying to sell that house? And they're like, what? And I was like, well, the address is hooked up to your name, so your phone number is hooked up to their name. So now that I got a hold of you, do you want to? Yeah. I saw it's no longer on the market. Just wanted to see what's going on, and he just hung up. But you run into like funny situations all the time.
I have a worse one. I actually called this like VP. It was a dude of it was a Wisconsin company. I forgot what it is, but very top notch. Like maybe like waste management or something like that. But regardless, I call him. He's like, stop effing calling me. My wife is in the hospital, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry. And so like I got hung up. That was like the only time that like I took no, like stop calling as an answer at that time.
Bro, you should have like called the hospitals, found out where his wife was, and sent a gift or like showed up in person.
I could have done that.
That would have been wild.
I could have done that. I was only with that company for 4 months though, because we started when I was in the office, we had like 80 reps.
By the time you left, you had like...
There was like 20, bro. Like, I was like, they just kept cutting down. Like, oh, shit. Like, my buddy got fired. Oh, you got fired. I'm like, oh, well, not fired, laid off. Yeah. There's 2 different things between the two. And so, after that, I took like a month break.
Yeah, I remember that.
Started, it was in May. So, like, that month of May was fun because I really...
you were getting paid to just chill.
Correct.
You're on unemployment.
Yep. On top of that, too... once I graduated, just to backtrack, once I graduated, I decided to go get my master's in business administration because...
I forgot that you did that.
I did, yeah. I did it right away, man.
You're like one of the only people I know that got a master's.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
I mean, it's going to help me in the long run, I guess, but it's not really helping me at this very moment. But I hope one day I look back and I'm like, man, like, I'm so glad I got my master's.
For the job you have now, did you have to have a higher education, or like this? Can I like?
Good question.
No college degree, Joe DeSilva, walk into your job and get a job.
Good question. Well, let me start with the job I had after, just because it kind of helps with the story behind. Like, hey, you know what? Like, imagine just coming right out of college.
So wait, let's start this. You got laid off. You were here, and then you went back to Arizona for a while. No,
I actually stayed here.
But then you went back to Arizona for a while.
I did. So, So it happened in 2019. It was April or May. I got laid off, and so I looked for another job, and I worked for this company in Lombard called Zep.
Oh yeah, I remember.
That's what. Yeah, I know. I worked there for a year. Great job.
And then Zep sells like cleaning supplies.
Cleaning,
and all that.
Yeah, cleaning chemicals, like degreasers, like I had lots of like car shop dealerships, clients, and then like that went really well. Like I really like popped off with that job. Except with Zep, right, you could only go so high because the products you're selling are like, they could be like $80. It could be
Like $20.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, long story short, I ended up knowing that once I saved up enough money, I was like, you know what, I want to go to Phoenix. I want to go back. I lived with Joel Jackson, as you know, and now I ended up quitting in the middle of COVID and got the job that I have now.
And then you went back down to Arizona.
I did.
You were there for how long?
I was in Arizona for a year.
And then you went to Florida.
I went to Florida. Luckily, my job, my boss, we had to talk, you know, because the only thing holding me back from moving to Florida
What was your job?
was my job.
Mm-hmm.
And so luckily, like my company, my boss was super, super cool, super kind, and allowed me to work remote out of Florida, even though I am still needing to work Arizona hours, which is either Pacific or Mountain Standard. And
so then what's the difference? Like,
I worked 11 to 8 or
Ooh.
10 to 7, depending on the time zone.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Well, you get to wake up late, and then you just get to wake up a little later.
Yeah, and that actually really helped me too with like my fitness, like getting, you know, continuing to be in better shape every year, because I'm not going to be that lazy ass and not wake up at like 7, 8 a.m. to go work out, because I have that much time in the morning before I start working. You know what I'm saying? So
then you're in Florida, everything's going smoothly, and then you move back here.
I moved back here.
You've been here for probably 2 months?
Yeah, give or take.
You
a little bit, yeah.
You haven't been here that long. But
no, not that long. Just because obviously I need to come back for a canoe trip.
Yeah.
Which you guys, if you ever interested, check out Joe's Instagram. Wild stuff what we did on that canoe
and if you're ever trying to go, let me know. We're trying to get some more people for next year.
Yeah. It was, dude, that was a shit show, man.
The first like 2 days, we got through it though. Like,
oh man,
you're just sleeping through it.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, we're sleeping in like one of the worst storms like in the entire summer.
Wisconsin,
twice back to back
storms,
dude. And I was sleeping in a puddle. I bought a $25 tent.
You shouldn't have done that.
Never, ever be cheap when you go camping. That's my one advice to everyone out there.
I'm buying like a $500 to $800 tent next time around.
I'm gonna do the same thing, I think.
And I'm gonna like drill. I'm gonna have like the stakes gonna get drilled into the ground.
Oh God.
I'm not. I'm surviving it all,
dude. I'm gonna need that as well.
I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna start like 6 months out. I'm gonna start looking at the tents to see what's going on, and then kind of going from there.
True. Instead of spending $1,000 in Vegas, it's good to spend $1,000 in camping gear.
I just hope we keep going.
Yeah.
If we don't go, and you're like,
we got way too many people dropping out.
We have two.
Yeah. Respectively so. I mean, when you flip your canoe and you can't swim, that's like...
He could swim. He was just being dramatic.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Jeremy. But to go back to your question about you need a higher degree with my job, you do. You do.
Okay. So they don't hire just your ordinary average
Joe DeSilva
off the streets.
Maybe one day. Thank you, man. I put this back here. You know, though, very interesting story. One of my buddies, I mean, kind of buddy, kind of not, because I worked out of Florida, so it's kind of hard to become like friends with your coworkers, because you're so kind of secluded when they're all, like in the office or able to live by each other. Long story short, when I first started, there was this guy who was like, I think he was 19 or 20. His name was Andrew, and he ended up, I think he was a car mechanic before he got the job. And I remember my sales academy boss told me about this and brought him in. And as I said, with my first job, like, this guy would never take no as an answer, would never kind of get pushed off or be sad if someone says no or to F off, right? And the dude is doing really well with my company.
Now, does he have a college degree?
I don't think he does.
So you don't need one.
I don't think he does. From what I remember, he didn't. But
you
I may be wrong.
You just need to live out in Arizona for a few months, get the job, and be like, listen, I need to get back to Illinois.
Yep, true.
But all right, so then you're back here, you're moving, you bought a place, or you're under contract in Arizona.
Yeah.
And now you're moving back in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then, are you actually moving into your place in 2 weeks, or is it going to be like you're moving there, and then like a week or two after that, then you'll move in?
The move-in date or the closing date is the 22nd,
Okay.
which is a Friday, and so I'm flying there like Saturday morning and gonna move in then.
Don't you have to sign?
I think it's all e-signature now.
You better ask, because I know in Illinois they have a wet signature.
I don't think the only thing I needed to be there in Arizona for obviously was during the beginning process, but it ended with me being in the inspection.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to be there for the inspection,
Mm-hmm.
but anything past that, I did not need to be there in Arizona.
I would double check.
I trust my realtor.
Oh no, just the answer would be like, just want to double check with you. I don't have to be at closing, right? Everything's e-signature, because I know in Illinois you have to be physically here
in there. Gotcha.
and the closing.
Well, regardless, it's not hard for me to switch my flight a day back, you know. But to go on that as well, I mean, what you do with your job, when I had to buy my place there, I respect realtors more and more every day that I was working with my realtor because of all the shit you guys have to do.
Says a lot.
And all the amateur questions that I had.
That doesn't matter. I mean, everyone has them.
Yeah, but like, man, you guys work on weekends, late at night, answer emails.
I try not to. Late at night. I usually cut it off at like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
As long as no one's dying. But I've seen some wild stuff.
You've seen some people die as a realtor?
No, but I've seen like a 1:30 in the morning, like my attorney fighting the other attorney on Halloween night.
Oh my God. Like fight?
Like they're just arguing about something, and I was like blacked out. I was like laying there on a sidewalk in the city, like, oh my God, this is not happening right now. But
oh God,
those things happen.
Yeah.
But then it's very interesting to kind of see like, it's been like very interesting to see because like a lot of people are like. It's like on edge when you're buying a house.
Yeah.
I've not really noticed it until like the last few times. Like
I was too.
But it's like everything has to, like they'll call, text you and it's like everything's like, hey, like
yeah.
Did you hear anything? I'm like for me, I'm like calm. I'm like I know, but it's like now I'm like starting to like be more like I try to like beat them to talk to me. Like I'll like send like a message to be like, hey, I didn't hear anything back.
You think about what they're going to ask you or what they're going to need, and you make sure you're proactive about it.
But just like even if I have no news,
for sure,
let them know I have no news.
Correct.
But like try like if I wake up in the morning, like maybe I have an offer out, like hey, I haven't heard anything back, I'll hit them up, and I'll like put like a time in there so they know like okay, I'm like or like haven't heard anything back. It's just something like I'm working on. So I try to like if I wake up in the morning, I see something. Yeah. Sometimes I like would wait, but now if I see something, I'll just send a quick text like hey, this came in, like let me know.
For sure.
It's just something that's kind of like I'm like practicing with, and then there's more like someone said, be lazy. No, just like it's like if you couldn't do or whatever you're doing now, pretend you were too lazy to do it. How would you do it then? How would you get it done?
Yeah.
So like now I'm starting to do like I always have to send this application to people. I might do it into a Google Sheet or a Google
something that they're able to utilize themselves.
Yeah, so I don't have to like
gotcha.
Like if they're like I'll put that at the end of like all the stuff. Be like, hey, if you want to apply, here's the link. Just copy it and like send it in and shoot me a quick text. Letting me know that you've copied it, you did this. It's just stuff I'm like thinking about, like to like make things go faster. Agreed,
and also make their lives easier too. Because I remember me and my realtor had to go through a bunch of, it was probably like 10, 20 forms that we had to go through. She had to read to me all the things, right? And so the amount of like time and that would take, and you need to be in person for all of that. It really. Like every day was like, man, like being a realtor is such a difficult job.
The one thing is, so how she went through all the forms?
Yeah.
So Charles has YouTube videos. So you'll send to people, which I was like, that's very smart. Like I said,
that is.
Because then you don't have to be there for that.
Yep.
Like with a contract, I'll send Charles' video out and be like, you guys have any major questions after watching this? Let me know. It's like things to save time. Like how do you get more time back? It's like
agreed.
Videos like that. And I was like, well, let's go. Like.
Yep. Speaking of that too, I mean, even with my job back in the day, I would send them the tracking numbers because they would order hardware, right? And so I would physically go through each tracking number and attach a link to like FedEx or UPS. But then once I found out, I could just put their email in the order and it automatically sends to them. I'm like, that saved me like 30 minutes to an hour a day.
Yeah, there you go.
I know.
It's always about like saving time. How to save like a little bit of time each day.
Efficiency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to get efficient in like different things now too, like part of my business. I'm gonna do that later, but it's like advertising. How can I do how can I be more efficient doing all these things? And it's just stuff I like look into now. And
What's something do you feel like you're not efficient in with your job?
Time management.
Really?
I am horrendous. Like
you on that TikTok ride, and then you're
not even that. It's like how do or like knowing what to do next. Like I try to keep I've always had a list of things to do.
Okay.
But recently I've gotten efficient where I'm getting closer to like the end of the list, and I'm like, man, like what can I do? So it's like adding stuff like calling people. Like pretty soon I'm gonna start doing my end of the year calls where it's like, hey, I'm sending some magnets out. What's your new address?
Gotcha.
Or do you still live here? What's your email?
Gotcha.
And then I have a program starting in the next few months. Like if I get a new listing, I'll send it out to everyone I've ever worked with.
Okay.
Which like rental listings, I'll send out to all the renters. Be like, hey, I know you're still renting, but if you know anyone that wants a place, here's the Google Drive file with like the description and the pictures. If you know anyone, let me know. I'd love to show them. And that would be a way to kind of stay in contact with people.
True.
Because now I have that mass texting on my phone. I could do the mass texting. Like when I text you for Call of Duty, I send one text to everybody. But it's like I send it once, and the phone through shortcuts automatically sends it to everybody.
Really?
Yeah, so I can show you how to do it later.
It's definitely an app out there, eh?
No, it's I just had to set up through shortcuts.
Damn.
So like I set it up. I put the message in notes, and then I just put I have people in groups like the biking group, the real estate group, the Call of Duty group. I just send stuff to them, and like everyone's like, "Oh, you're like you just like text me." I'm like, "Nah, chill." Chill. It's cool. But then so I have that.
That's crazy.
So then I'm gonna start doing like a real estate group where I just have all the realtors like, "Hey, like I have this coming up, or I have this buyer. Do you guys potentially have this?"
Dang. Okay. I never thought about that.
Because it's a way to like reach out to realtors, like, hey.
Yeah.
Because and then like to reach out to realtors, reach out to my buyers, be like, hey, if you see anything, let me know.
Yeah. I need to do that with my Outlook email. Create like a mass.
Well, do you have their phone number?
I mean, I have everyone's phone number for my clientele base.
Well, like if you have like a deal going on or anything, you can put them in. I'll show you how to do it. You put them in like I can even set it up for you. It doesn't take that much time. You put them in a group, and then in a shortcut, you set them up in a group, and then you just put the group on top, and then put them at the bottom. Like, hey, I have this, this, and this on sale.
You're right. Okay.
And then you can just mass send it to everyone, and it goes. I do it for my MacBook, but I can do it for my phone. Like, there's a poker coming up. Like, when I sent you the poker invite, that was all. I sent that whole thing. I sent one message to everybody.
Yeah. I can't believe you never invite anyone to poker.
I invite everybody to poker.
You invite everyone, but no one accepts?
No one ever accepts.
Except for me.
No one knows how to play.
Yeah. What, did you lose $40 last time?
Yes. I was about to hop in. No, I lost 20.
I lost 22. That's it.
Because I came in third, but I was about to hop in the cash game. I was feeling a little different that day. But
that's funny, man. Oh, what else you got for me though?
Oh, like so you're what's going forward? Like what are you trying to do with your life?
That's a great question. That is something
you made the second biggest life decision. You made the second biggest
financial life decision. Yeah, man. It's weird because I feel like I'm in this stage with obviously like, you know, turning 27 next week, a week from tomorrow, and buying that place, right? Like, I know my life is going to change a lot because not only now am I, you know, going to be living in like a new place I have and going to be working in the office Tuesday and Wednesday. It's like, what could I do moving forward to, you know, be like the best Matt I could be, you know what I'm saying? And so, man, I don't know. That's the biggest question mark in my life on what to do next.
But what do you want to do? Like, is there something like any goals you want to achieve? Is there like any place you want to see still? Is there like, I know you're going to come back every year for vacation, like out here for a month, but is there any other places you want to go? Man,
so places I want to go, I would love to go to Yosemite. I saw that's like by far the best national park. The one thing, once I get my budget aligned, because when you buy a place, you're dropping tens of thousands of dollars, right? Once I get settled down, I really want to go to Europe, like really bad. You know how much I love European soccer. And so whether it be by myself or grab a buddy or two, you know what I'm saying? Or go to Brazil.
2025.
Yeah, we're going 2025.
I've got a lot of people. I got a
Carnival.
There's a few different places I want to check out. I just don't know how busy it's going to be.
Yeah.
So we might go we'll do if we do Carnival, we'll rent an apartment in Rio.
Okay.
Even if it's $6,000 divided by a few people, it's not going to matter.
Take that any day though.
Yeah, and then we'll go down to we'll party on the beach and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, after I'll say stay for a week and a half.
Okay.
And we'll come in the middle, so then you can do tourist attractions. We see the Christ statue.
I need to see that, man.
I need one of my cousins there. We'll see the Christ statue. We'll go down to. There's a really beautiful beach. I can't think of the name of it right now. That's outside of Rio, 2 hours down, and then there's a
beach on the ocean.
Beach on the ocean. Gotcha. Well, we'll be by the lagoon. That's where I want to stay. The lagoon and by the beach, so then we can just walk. Mm-hmm. But there's also and then there's a beach. They call it Cabo Frio, which I hear is really beautiful.
Is all east, right? All east.
I think it's
you're
south.
Good with that.
I'm thinking about it. I think Cabo Frio is south of Rio.
Okay.
It's a 2-hour drive, but we could find someone to take us, or we get on a bus and just drive. They could take us down.
That'd be fucking
wild.
wild.
And then there is a city in the mountains.
Okay.
Which is all German.
Is it favelas or
no? It's all German people that came after World War II. Is what I hear. So I want to go. They say it's beautiful out there. And, they have beautiful restaurants. It's a lot very safe up there and calm. So I just want to go there and see what's going on.
And you've never been there before?
Never been. I've only been to Rio, and then where my family is. We'll probably end up going to go see my cousins.
Okay.
So depending on what time you get there, I'm gonna get there early and stay for a longer period of time.
Gotcha.
Just so I can prepare for everything. But it's I want to get there, see my family, and then if we have some friends coming earlier, 1 or 2 friends, then they'll stay with our family.
Mm-hmm.
Stay for a few days, and then we'll go up to the apartment.
Okay.
Downtown, we'll stay down there for the whole time.
Yeah.
And then we'll end up going to if we have time or what's going on. If people just want to stay in the city,
is this a 2-week thing or?
I'm gonna be there for 2 weeks, and everyone else can be there for a week.
My ass is gonna be there for 2 weeks.
A week of work from.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's the same time zone as where is it from?
I'm gonna be either Pacific or Mountain. During that time, actually, I'll be Mountain.
It's Mountain is a 2-hour difference, right?
No, 1 hour.
Maybe it's a 2-hour difference out there.
Yeah.
2 hours ahead.
Gotcha.
Ahead.
Okay.
So you might still be in the same time zone.
Yeah. Regardless of
fucking awesome. There's Wednesday, so then it just might be a little expensive to get down there because of Carnival, and they know that.
Yeah.
But I just want to tell you, it's the summer out there.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be hot as hell.
Yeah. So it's we're gonna be leaving the coldest. It's in February.
You're gonna be leaving.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be leaving.
I'm gonna be leaving the coldest, and then we get down there. It's
I'm gonna be
wet,
used to that.
heat, and rain.
Yeah.
So then something to prepare for, but.
Is that what you want to do then? That's your next trip you want to do? Brazil?
I'd rather want to do something else, but now I'm kind of locked in.
Yeah.
I gotta see how things go because
yeah.
If worst comes to worst, I do want to do that,
mm-hmm.
and I will probably plan for that, but I might end up going to because I could go I can move by myself pretty quickly. That's one thing.
That's what I'm saying. You were in and out of Tennessee in what
48 hours.
Yeah.
If I go to Europe, give me two cheese and a hammock, and that's all I need. Give me in a hostel, I like traveling.
In a hostel?
Oh, give me a hostel.
Oh, I know what a hostel is. I was thinking brothel. I was
no,
not that. Yeah. Not today. Never. Nope, not happening. We're not Game of Thrones.
No, but but yeah. So then we'll do that. I'll be down to go to Europe. I just don't know when. Once I have enough money, I know it's $1,000 to get down there.
It's just hard to we don't have any friends that live there. You know what I'm saying?
But then you just backpack. I have nobody out there. My uncle's supposed to live out in Portugal, but
You ever talk with that man?
He lives in Brazil. He never went.
Oh, gotcha. Damn. Yeah. Yosemite, Europe. I mean.
So I want to go to Japan and South Korea too. I just want to go run around. So
what about North Korea?
Nah, we ain't going there.
Really? Why not?
All you. I ain't going there.
Nah, you need to go to Japan.
Japan and South Korea, they're the two, and then all over Europe is kind of the place. But Europe, I'll just backpack it. I'll just I'll set a start and end and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna look what countries are in between. I'm just gonna
fucking go.
Okay, how do I get from here to here? Let's take a train and I get to the major city.
Yeah.
And then I want to go to like Monaco. That looks like a cool place.
That'd be really sick.
But we're gonna go. It's gonna be a day trip. We're gonna spend the night there.
Yeah.
Just gonna break the bank right there.
Hold up. Well, let me think about this. Monaco. That's in Africa.
No, Morocco is that?
Morocco. Monaco is in France.
Yes, it's a country in France.
You're right, and that's on like the water part.
Yeah. So it's,
Gotcha,
it's like it's an independent country.
I need to think about that. Yeah.
Well, like Casablanca, or Morocco, that would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be sick too.
Oh, that would be an interesting place to go to.
I feel like we just need to explore more. I'm not a stagnant type of dude.
It's like the second, I feel like the second I start making more money, that's something I would do. I'll just be like, hey, let's go.
True.
Let's take an adventure. Like,
you gotta be making more cold calls. That's what we need to do.
I need to pick up my cold calling. I need to pick up my door knocking. I need to go pick up my
everything,
more of my videos, all that stuff. Something that's gonna come next year. I'm gonna kind of pick it up for this winter, calling all everyone I know, kind of like trying to figure out new systems. Like today is supposed to be a day of making new systems, but the day's not over yet. We still got some time.
Damn.
I might just watch Netflix and just do it next Sunday, and maybe plan out throughout the week like my new marketing plan. So I was supposed to do it. I was with Josh, but I never got a chance to do it. But marketing, Instagram plan, and how I want to kind of move forward. And I'm gonna do the Realtor talk. In downtown Naperville, I have my phone on a tripod and my some microphones and just interviewing people real quick.
That's gonna be sick.
Yeah. So then I already have the tripod. I'm gonna buy a different tripod though, and then I'm gonna buy. The microphone's like $250 for like the recording stuff, and I'm just gonna go out there and just every day. I do it like once a week.
Yeah.
Have this and then have that, but that's gonna be an easy 5 questions, and then. Yeah, that's basically it.
Just ask random people.
Just be like, hey, do you have a second for a quick question? Be like, do you live in Naperville? Like, what's your dream house? Where do you want to live? And then I want to go to the city. Like, what do you think about the city? Or ask questions like that. Like wherever I'm at, like, hey, what do you think about this area? In your words, like, well, how do you think this area is? Like, would you want to live here? Like, why if you don't live here, why don't you live here?
Yep.
Something like that.
Are they gonna have to sign a waiver?
I don't know. It's more going to be like, hey, here's my profile. If you see something you don't like, just shoot me a message and I'll take it down.
That would be cool, though. How is it like, I know you never worked B2B, which is business to business, right? Is that correct?
What do you mean business to business?
So, for what I do, I sell to businesses. I do not sell to individuals. And you sell to individuals. And it's called B2C. So, business to consumer.
Yeah.
Right? How is it like working with consumers versus hearing stories about businesses, right?
I've never worked with a business. I mean, the only time I think it would be a business if they wanted to buy a building or an investor that wanted to buy an investment property.
And you can
but it's still a consumer basically because you're
not selling it to a business with 100 employees. You're selling it to a business with 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I feel like the more investor clients are more they're more they want to see everything on paper. They really want to know they want you to explain everything. But consumers I'm surprised that I'll send stuff to people and they're don't want me to explain anything. They just sign. I'm like, you can call me. Don't worry about it. Just let me know. I can explain these things to you.
Oh man,
it's okay. But a lot of people just when I send them the stuff they just sign and it's okay.
You could have signed your life away.
You could have. They're really we trust you. I'm like, okay, cool, let's go.
Well, if they need a lawyer, they better call Wall.
Well, Wally doesn't do that stuff.
Yeah, he prosecutes people.
Yeah, he sends people to jail.
No, you have your own lawyer.
I have an attorney that we work with. I have a title guy that I want to start working with, and then I have. I'm really gonna have two. I'm gonna have 2 attorneys that I work with. I want to start working with this other guy. Also,
how many people do you work with then? How many?
So through the whole transaction, I have the lender. So it's me, the lender.
You're right.
The
your lawyer,
attorney, and then there's the title people,
title agency. Yeah.
But I don't really meet the title people. I've met one of them that now I want to start working with. But
correct. But if you refer them to the title company that you prefer.
No, well, it's more the attorney has their own title company, but I want to work with other attorney that will work with. There's a Brazilian guy that he works with at the title company. So we're going to have a Woodridge team in the next few weeks. So it's going to be, besides the lender, he's in the city.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the Woodridge team, and it's going to be because the attorney and also the title guy lives in Woodridge. So we're going to all be kind of together. I'm going to start doing some stuff together.
That's exciting, though.
I know. I'm kind of excited for it.
I feel like it's the best thing to do when you don't do everything by yourself, because then...
Well, you can't.
Yeah, I mean, you can as a realtor.
Well, no, because like in Arizona it's different because of the laws, but like here it's I'm front heavy.
Correct.
And then it's kind of like I pass the torch.
Back end.
They do the back end, and then I just show up the closing.
That's what I do too, because what my company, what we do is we sell over 6,000 manufacturers hardware, software services. So, I mean, you really think that this man will know everything about every single product that we sell? Hell no. So
I feel like you'll slowly get there. Like you'll start learning more and more and more.
No, trust me. I've learned a lot to where it's efficiency, right? I don't need to spend time like, hey, I need to reach out to my Adobe team to see if we do that. I'm like, no, man, you have those 30 days to renew. Like I know it. I don't have to waste time to ask. That's why, with over 3 years working there, you learn to, cut that off, because there's no need if you already know the answer. You know what I'm saying? But similar with what you do, I'm very front heavy as well, because it's all about setting up that meeting with the manufacturer or with our team of engineers, so then they talk all the nerd stuff, is what we call it.
The one thing I noticed is I'm the only person throughout the whole transaction that has to be there in person. They brought it up, like the title guy brought up. He's like, I can live anywhere. The lenders live anywhere. Yeah. And so can the attorney live anywhere. Because I've never seen I seen my attorney one time. And I drove to her house, which was like, lived like an hour away. I was like, she pulls up on Zoom all the time. I'm like, oh.
Oh, man.
So that was like very interesting. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is like, he's right. He's like, yeah, I could like live in like a boat somewhere, or I could like live in an RV.
Do whatever the hell I want.
I was like, man.
No, that's what's, I mean, it's something that's really nice about working from home. You know what I'm saying? Well, even yourself, too. Because
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
All right, give us the rundown.
I'm interested. So I wake up, right? And then I wake up, I like going places. So I wake up and then I start work from home. But it's like, when you work from home, it's like you get distracted. There's different things. And I don't like going to the office either. It's like...
So what do you like then? Going to like a library, get a coffee, and then kind of get your laptop?
That's interesting. But then it gets to the point where it's like, I have to be at the office or at my house. It's like, I like doing calls like, because it gets too loud at the coffee shop. So like, I've worked in places like, I worked at like coffee shops. Yeah. It's like, it just kind of depends like what I'm doing. Where I am and what I'm doing is where I want to be.
I get what you mean.
But it's...
Yeah.
But yeah, I just...
What would be your ideal workplace scenario then?
I feel like I'd want my own, like, place. Like,
actual own office.
Not like my own, like... I have my room to work out of, but I would want to, like... There's a few things I'm changing in the next year. Like, my social media will all be done through an iPad, and I'm not going to have, like, social media on my phone at all. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of that, and then I'm going to have it on my iPad. But I have my iPad with me, like, a few hours a day. So I'm going to... The iPad's like $700, though. I was like, fuck.
Man, those are expensive.
So I'm buying it like the next few months, probably like going into January, February. Yeah. And then we're just going to kind of see how that goes.
Why iPad, though?
Because I was going to buy another iPhone. But I was like, I could just buy an iPad, do all the videos on the iPad, cut it. But I'm going to have the iPad set up through a different account.
Got you. Also. Okay. Gotcha.
Because I need more storage.
That man. How much shit you got on your phone?
All right, well, I'm about 250 terabytes on my hard drive. I have, I bought a terabyte. An external. No, I bought a terabyte on Google, and I'm at around maybe like almost halfway done with that.
Do you really think you need to keep all that crap?
It's just the videos.
Yeah, the videos do take
So you get the raw video, and then you get the edited video, and then you get the real videos. Yeah. And it's like, it's starting to become a lot.
iMovie too on the computer takes up so much damn space.
Well, if you have to clean it every once in a while. Yeah. Because the renders, they stay on there. So you have to clear the renders. Gotcha. I had to call Apple and they had to help me figure that out.
Damn. That's crazy.
So then, I'm like, going through
I'm on that water grind right now. Okay. I'll get back on the Corona. Oh, man. Yeah, what else? Trying to think.
I'm trying to think of like the parties at your house that we used to have. Like,
yeah, man. Yeah, I had a good house back then.
You did.
We would do some
wild
shit.
You didn't live that far either. Like we could have
No.
I could walk.
We walked back and forth to our
Bro, I
home
remember
most
that
of the
time I had my face got paralyzed.
Yeah.
Bro.
It was your right side of your face. I
Yeah.
remember that. We're in my backyard, and I'm like, bro, why can't you smile?
Like, no one told me, and then someone, like, was, like, started, like, making fun of me, like, what do you mean? And then I looked in your mirror, and I was like, we walked back, like we just go to my house to hang out, like, I don't know what's going on.
You had that half smile, bro.
That half smile. My mom was, like, flipping out. She's like, you're probably having a stroke, and, like, she threw me in the car. She drove me to the hospital, and I was like...
My mom?
My mom.
Your mom, yeah, Maria.
So we walked back to my house.
Yeah.
And then she drove me to the hospital, and then, like, they were just like, oh, yeah, you have, like, this. Like, I don't even remember what it was called. And then basically, like, we went to the...
Oh, man.
I had to go through, like, 3 months of surgery, or 3 months of, like, physical therapy, and then I had to take, like, medicine. It was the whole summer, basically. By the time I got back...
Really?
I got in the beginning of summer. By the time I went back to school, I didn't have it anymore.
What about that time where you couldn't drink alcohol for, like, 6 months?
Yeah, bro, I didn't drink alcohol. Like,
Not for a year, right?
That was for quite some time, like, in November. I stopped November when I was 21, like...
Wait, so what happened then?
I was just, I was, like, had a sensitive stomach to, like, certain foods, and I was eating those certain foods, like avocado, nuts.
Gotcha.
I tried being healthy, and that really backfired. And I still, I'm, like, healthier now. I just eat fruits and, like, vegetables, and I'll try to stay away from, like...
Yeah.
Like, fried foods. I still eat fried foods every once in a while, but, like, I'll be like, how healthy can, like, what can I do?
True. What can you not eat then?
I can't eat avocados. I try to stay away from, like, guac.
Yeah.
All nuts, coconuts,
These nuts?
These nuts. Try to stay away from those too.
Shit.
The really spicy food. If I eat, I can eat spicy food at night, but I can't eat it in the morning.
Why?
It's just I have to have, like, a layer of food already in me to eat it.
Okay.
Because I had spicy noodles one time. I was coming back from the city, and I was like, I haven't eaten nothing today. I had the spicy noodles destroyed. Yeah. So I could eat that, and it's just mostly, like... So it's that stuff. There's, like, a Brazilian fruit that gives me a headache. I don't know what it's called, but, like, it looks like some misty...
Like straight out of Brazil type shit?
Yes.
Yeah?
It's a misty... Like, we have the juice sometimes. I kind of stay away from it, but that's kind of it.
Damn. That's crazy.
Hot dogs, I don't know what's in them, but I always get headaches.
What's it like to, like, have that sort of, like, restriction?
It doesn't really bother me because, like, I could go somewhere and be like, hey, let me get, like, a steak or a burger.
Yeah.
Or I could be like, hey, like, most places, like, avocado's expensive anyways, and it costs extra, so I'm like, I don't even want it. I don't need it.
You don't even need that shit either. Oh, man. I mean, speaking of that, too, I remember...
well, speaking of your...
Yeah, man.
Food.
I know. I feel like this is going to come up sometime.
Of course. Like, you used to... Explain your diet in the first few years of your life, and then how did it switch?
It was like my first 18 years of my life.
All right.
Fuck.
So what did you eat? Because I know it was a short list of foods you ate.
Man, I would stick with, like... I don't know how it wasn't fat. I swear to God, I don't know. It might have been soccer and, like, just running all across the country like what we did back in the day. Man, that was... I would just stick with eating, like, chicken, fries, like, obviously Cheerios, like, the breakfast, right? Cookies. I love chocolate chip cookies to this day.
Did you drink milk?
Milk, yeah. Just milk. Just milk and water. No, we're not drinking any soda, lemonade, nothing. Yeah. But, I mean, what changed is that, like, when I moved to Arizona, like, it really... I got a lot of pressure from, like, every fucking person there. Like, dude, come on, you can't be microwaving chicken nuggets and eating them with goldfish. You know what I'm saying? In college.
Well, that's what they eat in college, but, like, it was...
Yeah, but every meal, bro.
Yeah, okay.
And so then I started off with, like a burger, like a plain burger.
Okay.
Which sounds absolutely disgusting to me until this day, you know? I love burgers, but, like, having a plain burger, man, put some fucking cheese on that, lettuce, all that.
So then you had a burger, and then, like...
Yeah. Then a quesadilla.
Okay.
Chicken quesadilla, then like tacos, and then got to like the Italian side, like pasta.
Yeah.
And like I never liked sauce, so like that really kind of progressed me to be like, man, like this shit's good. What have I been missing out my entire life? You know what I'm saying?
So you had Italian food, some sauces, and then you had Mexican.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of kept going.
I just kept going in the mindset like I don't know if I like it or not. I'm gonna eat it, and I'm going to eat it multiple times before I decide if I like it or not.
And then when did you start like introducing like fruits and vegetables? Because
Oh,
you were like eating like that, and then you started now you're eating healthier.
So I kind of ate like that throughout my entire college life, right? And yeah, I was skinny as hell, whatever. Yeah. And then after college, then I kept eating like that, and then I was like, damn, I got this double chin, man. And I was like 185 pounds, but like the worst way possible. And so that was when I was living in Illinois, and I started working at Zepp, that second company I worked at. And then Perry Tonoff was like, yo, come to the fucking gym with me, man. And I was like, okay. I had no idea what to do at the gym. And he kind of like taught me like everything, like what kind of regime to do. And he did help me with foods, but like I wasn't like following up on that as much because kind of my mindset was like, if you go to the gym, you don't really need to eat that well. Even though I was lying to myself, you know? And so then it took for me to finally move to Arizona where my buddy Joel out there, he was a great like cook and was like, yo, I'm getting you on this rice, lettuce, and chicken type diet. Straight bowls every fucking day. Turkey, spinach, and rice or potatoes.
No steak?
Obviously steak too.
I'm so like, I see all the bodybuilders like they're like eating
we were on that like cheap like we only would spend like $900 a month like total on our credit cards because like we just kept it everything cheap, just saving money.
White rice, chicken, turkey,
all that. And so like he really taught me how to like cook but be easy with it. You know what I'm saying? Not time consumed to be healthy. And so then I just kind of kept following that along throughout the rest of my life, and even till this day, I still barely spend any money on groceries.
Shout out to Joel.
Oh yeah. Obviously Jackson's my boy too there. So
DJ Euro.
DJ Euro, I can't believe you left my Xbox party randomly the other day. I can't believe that.
That man was wild.
He did teach you how to DJ though a little bit.
He explained some things.
He got you intrigued on the
more
concept.
Intrigued than I was, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the man almost fight somebody.
He's fought everyone, man.
It's basically like the camera flying past me. He got instantly mad. I was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Oh my god, is this a fight that's about to break out?"
No, you've definitely seen multiple fights when you were there during Welcome Week.
I've seen, but now
you definitely saw like girls fight too. Maybe in the backyard.
I saw the only time I saw the fight was with the dude that pepper sprayed all those people and then broke the glass door and flooded the scene.
Oh yeah.
At that party, that was kind of the only major party fight I saw.
Oh my god, the amount of shit. Obviously, like just jumping off the top of a roof into a pool is just fucking adrenaline rushing, awesome to do. And I think it was like so much fun during that week that we didn't go to any bars. We just stuck with the house parties. Were we not 21?
I was 21.
I was 21. No,
you couldn't go.
I was like 2 weeks away from being 21.
Yeah.
I was like 2 weeks
I would have went to bars, but I had nowhere to go to, so I was like, okay.
True. Yeah, because your ass got held back in first grade. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have been as close, maybe, right?
Well, I mean, I probably would have met you guys, but probably not been as close because I would have had the young crowd or the other crowd.
Yeah. It was funny when Naomi brought up on her podcast.
Bro, this is the man who Naomi wrote the papers for.
My English papers.
Your English papers.
Oh, man.
Now people have ChatGPT. That's a whole...
High school, man, I didn't give a fuck. I didn't. There was no reason for me to care about a lot of the classes because I knew I was going to the business side and there was like science. Yeah, like it teaches you discipline, but like what really got me to like be disciplined was not only my job, the job I had like in high school with pushing carts at Jewel, but also like going to college and you're like, man, I'm spending 20, 30, 40 grand a year.
I feel like a lot of people don't care about that.
I cared about that so damn much. And that's why like my GPA like completely skyrocketed through that entire
to tell you the truth, like my senior year of high school,
I
basically failed everything. Because I went to summer school and I had so many credits by like the second semester.
Dude.
By the second semester of high school, I could graduate.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do I need? What are the things?
Yeah.
What's the classes I need to pass? And they're like, you need to pass gym and you need to pass like English. Cool. Like, okay, like I started ditching. I was like, I don't need to. I'm going to COD.
That's what I'm saying. You don't need to get a high GPA.
You don't. Like, I'm not going to college away. Like, this kind of doesn't matter anymore.
You're right.
And I just kind of was like coasting through last year. I was like, this is kind of nice. GTA just came out. I stayed home. I was like,
GTA 5 came out then? Damn. Was that 2015?
I just know GTA 5 came out on the PS3, and it's now got a life on the PS4.
You're
and now
right.
Got a life on the PS5.
It got the newer gen.
And the new one's supposed to come out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens. I did some crazy things.
Were you always a little game head?
I was, but not really anymore. But I do still play like some games. Like the way I play video games is like So I do a lot for work. But if like God of War 2 came out, I did the bare minimum and played for like 3 days straight. So like, I was playing like 12.
Bare minimum of work?
Yeah, I'll do like bare minimum to like stay afloat and like.
Oh man!
And then I was just like, I literally just like, responded to emails in the morning, sent a few texts, and made a few calls in the morning, and then I would play like 12 hours straight of God of War. And it's like I need to beat this ASAP. ASAP! I can't take off work. And like I would just go and go and go.
I feel the same way with FIFA every year. The Ultimate Team, I'm like, man, I got the best Ultimate Team right at the beginning.
But it's different because like you like when you're done with work at like 5, you're done.
True.
I'm never done.
You're never done with the work.
So it's like now it's like okay, like let's make some time then. It's like the time is now.
Time is now.
Yeah. So like I'll just push like if people like can we see this and if like I'll like call the agent and be like, yo, tell me the truth. Is like how many offers you got? Like you have a lot of like interest. Can I hold off for like a day? And I'll just go and I'll like.
And then you go fucking ham.
I just go ham for like. God of War I beat in like 3 days, 3, 4. It took me like a week. But like it had 3 strong days, and I was like, I have to slow down. I have to go back to work. So I like would work and then work like at nighttime. I'd play for like till like 12. So I'd go from like 9 to 12 every night. Then I was like, okay.
I feel that same way with video games. It's like you're either like completely fucking addicted, or you're just not addicted at all.
Well, like Call of Duty, I'm not addicted. Like I'll hop on like at 9 o'clock. With you guys.
But like we play Call of Duty like once a week. But like if it was like a new Call of Duty that came out, we'll be playing that every day for like at least.
I'll still be playing like at night every day, but because like Call of Duty is not that like it's like it's like okay.
It's like the same thing every year. You only play with buddies. That's about it, you know.
But like I'm like when GTA comes out,
that new GTA 6. Like, how much do you think it's gonna be on our Xboxes and PS4?
Oh, it's probably gonna be like $70-$80. 70.
Not price wise.
Oh,
storage. That shit's gonna be like 150.
I don't know how your
bro.
Xbox works, but everything's stored on the cloud for the PlayStation. Besides the games you're playing, so I could like delete games, and then I have the Ethernet.
But you can reinstall them very fast.
I could reinstall them in less than an hour.
Okay.
So if I know I want to play something, or like they're like, oh, let's play GTA. It's like a 40-minute download time.
Gotcha. Damn. Yeah, I mean the Xbox is the same thing, but like,
I wish I had an Xbox for Starfield or Stargate, whatever that came out.
Stargate.
It came out recently.
Tell me about it.
It's made by the people that made Skyrim and Fallout.
So it's like a single player campaign.
Yes. I like the stuff. I'm like, man, if I had some money.
You know what I wish? I wish I had a PS4, PS5 for The Last of Us Part 2.
I haven't played.
You haven't played Last of Us Part 1?
I played some of Part 1, never played Part 2.
I never played Part 2 either. I never done.
Things I need to do. But Cyberpunk, I like really got into Cyberpunk for a long time.
Remember all the scandals at the beginning? They like released it, but then it was just like
it was so bad. Like there's so many glitches, and like the game kept crashing, and I was like, bro, like. So I just like would play like I would just like play for some time, but like missions wouldn't work. So I was like, okay, like I have to do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Wait till they fix it, but like it's like pretty good.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, if you were to play Cyberpunk now,
is that PS5 game only?
No, PS4.
Okay.
Yeah, PS4, right? I would get on the PS5 or Xbox.
Gotcha.
Whatever new console you have, just get it there.
Once I get back into video games, I'll do that. Just like being here for the short amount of time I was, like I'm trying to.
It's very hard to get back into video games, but it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time. You just have to like zone everything out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like completely everything out. And now I'm focused on like work and like the move. But then once like the end of the quarter ends, then I can reset and see where I'm at with my life, and then kind of go from there.
So that is one thing that like I wish I had like more time to myself. I have to like make time for myself.
Yeah.
But I'm like I wish I had like time like every day like to just do whatever. And
I have
no
responsibility now, man. Nothing.
You have work?
Oh, okay. Monday through Friday, yeah.
Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I meant like outside of work, I really don't have any responsibility.
You could work remote. Like, let's say if you go to Europe, you just have to work
their hours, yeah. Yeah, I have a coworker of mine that his family lives in Wales. So
now, can you take time off like from your job? If
yeah.
You wanted to?
Oh yeah. We get like 3.5, maybe 4 weeks a year.
So who takes your deals over?
We have backups. We were like required to have backups in order for us to fulfill clients' needs.
So that's what I need to start looking. Well, I have, I guess.
You have a backup?
I have some backups. I am the backup for most.
Yeah, you are your own backup.
No, I'm the backup for like other agents.
Oh,
I got a little backup. I'm like, okay.
What about the camping trip? If you got calls?
Oh, I already set up I set up Charles and I set up this other agent on.
Gotcha.
Those are the backups. So I set up like my clients that were looking with them, but nothing happened.
Which is like kind of good. That means you don't feel bad for missing out on like deals or whatever.
So then we're just moving forward from there.
I just like love doing all my work by myself. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of like working with like a small team.
Really?
I would want to like kind of like. That's why like I'm.
True. Because you can really grow with the team, which is why I'm glad I'm going back to the office. But like obviously, at the end of the day, you kind of like work for your clients because the clients are the ones that are paying you, not like your colleagues per se. Well, they pay you knowledge.
But how is like working with Well, you work with businesses, so I guess like, working with consumers, it gets kind of
working with businesses is a lot different. That's why I thought I'd ask you that question.
Yeah, it gets very it's different. It's like you have to like manage expectations and like they get stressed out and like you never know really what they're thinking and they don't really. It's kind of trying to bridge. I get something I'm learning about.
Yeah. For working with businesses though, it's like they actually have like budgets like 99% of the time, right? And I feel like when you work as a consumer, they have budgets, but like they could realistically kind of go over
up
or down. But like sometimes there are lots of clients that like at the end of the quarter they're like, hey, I have this amount of money left. Could you see how much of this and this I can get with this amount of money so that I can, get it approved and get it ordered before the end of the quarter, right? Or before the end of the year. So, yeah, man.
I'm gonna call you when I need to buy the iPad. You get like what, $5 discount?
Maybe a little more. I don't know.
But yo, bro,
call me though.
I will.
Yeah.
I want this. Do you sell Apple Care too?
Yeah, hell yeah, we do. Apple Care. Yeah. We do all of that. We're like platinum partners with Apple.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're very close with a lot, like 99% of the top manufacturers out there, and a lot of the smaller ones.
Who's the easiest person to work with?
Easiest like partner to work with?
Who has?
Man, you're calling me out.
Who has the best system right there?
Oh man, the best system. God, the best system. Oh shit.
Is it all through like a database that you do everything through?
I would say some of the best systems are the most strict, meaning that like I know. I'm not saying like I prefer working Apple over everyone else because there are pros and cons with every company, right?
Yeah.
But Apple are just very strict to the point. They don't give you a whole lot of like room for margin.
Yeah.
But they make it up in other categories, right? And there's no like you can't like get away with things with them. For instance, like it took me like a few weeks actually to get like Apple Care credited back to this client because the shipping label was created for these iPads he bought, but they never shipped. You following me on that? And so, like, why should he have to pay for this Apple Care for the iPads that are tied with Apple Care when they didn't even ship to him in the first place?
Yeah.
So, like, they're very just like strategic when it comes to all that. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of I have so many great people that I work with across all the manufacturers, even my team, my colleagues, even like people that like I get so much help outside of just my team and colleagues, and they just everyone helps each other just to make each other better
to make better
in every kind of categories.
Smoothly.
Yeah, like there's just like some random people. I ask a question like in like the main group chat, and like some random person messages me from my company and gives me the answer. I'm like, you didn't like have to take the time to do that, but thank you. Like, I really appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why like just having that sort of teamwork, like what you said, working with your colleagues is so important. That I felt like I missed out on a lot being in Florida and not near my headquarters or working in the office, because you're kind of like in a little cocoon, you know what I'm saying? Just working with your two monitors and, you know, put some music on in the background when you're not calling anyone and just
I hear calling with music is better.
I did that with my second job, Zep. I threw a headphone in and I had headphones on.
I mean like putting like out, not like crazy loud, but like putting in the background so like they would be able to hear it too and just calling.
They will?
Yes.
I have never heard that.
I've heard like you're jamming out, or, like you're listening to some music, you just call them, be like, hey, you know,
interesting.
Just want to like reaching out to you, seeing how things are going, and like they'll hear a little bit in the background, but not like super loud.
Interesting.
I hear it's like I don't know how it is like because I'm calling like consumers.
I feel like it's different with businesses because you don't want any distractions when you talk to them. They'll think about what you're not talking about. They'll get sidetracked, right? Yeah. Like you gotta like really give it to them straight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can't.
Hey, I got this, and this. What do you got?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I mean, especially businesses, they don't have the time to just talk on the phone like consumers. You know what I'm saying? Like when you call me, I talk to you for like half hour. Like it's because it's me. But if I was like business setting Matt, I'd be like, okay, I got to cut it off after like 10 minutes. Yeah. At some point, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
10 minutes is a lot, but 5 minutes is like a lot for lots.
I mean, I like sometimes when like I call people, if they stay on the phone with me too long, I'll put them on like a list. Been like, I can only call one of these people like a week. And I have people like that where I can't call them like all the time. It's like I would love to, but it's like they're on the phone.
Who is your favorite department to work with then? Like
what do you mean?
Like your lender? Like who's your favorite kind of?
Everyone makes the transaction very smoothly. Yeah. Like I have no like arguments with like any of the people I work with. Like most people you work with to make it so smoothly. Like the second I hand it off to them, like I really don't have anything to worry about. It's mostly just like reading emails and like advising my clients. But like even then, like I have my inspector I work with. Like if something's like if something's wrong, he'll like bring it up. But then I'll like everyone knows a little bit of everything, so like if something does come up, like they can help out.
Yeah, interesting.
But that's like I don't really have any hard department to work with. I mean, there's like struggles depending on the deal. I've had some struggles with like lending for some deals, but like we got through it, and we have like never like struggles with the attorney, but like the attorney kind of will give us as much information as we can to go like if one department's like if I'm struggling with one department, the other departments will kind of be like step in and be
back it up.
They'll be like, hey, like you can do this, and this, or like. Have you tried this, and this? And it's like, I'll go into the field and like, I'll try to figure it out with them.
I feel like the hardest thing with what you do as well is that like lots of the consumers really don't respond to you in the adequate time. Would you say that's true or false?
Depends on
the person.
Depends on the person. Some people will respond to you right off the bat. Some people answer right off the bat. Some people have like work.
Some people have work. That's why I made that point.
But it's, I don't know. I've been on the buying side for my whole real estate career. Yeah. And I think this year I really want to make a transition to not even advertising to any buyers and try to just do all selling side. Because selling is so much easier. It's just you have the product and then you're just like, other agents are coming to you to sell it.
For sure.
It's less time.
You don't need to push that many people to buy it.
You just do a few things. You just advertise the property right, and then like you have so much time to like kind of do other things. Buyers take up the most time. Listings, you make more money on listings too. Yeah. Most of the time. Most
of the time too. How does that payout go? Like, does the seller pay out the buying agent and selling?
The way they want to, like.
They're switching it.
No, they're not switching it. It's just let's explain like
changing it up.
Everywhere in the world, my job doesn't exist basically. It's you have the selling agent, and then the client comes. They look on like the website. They come to it, and then they buy it. My job really doesn't exist in some places, or like there's not they don't really like compensate. Buyers agents. Gotcha. And in the USA they do. Yeah. But the way it works is basically the buyer brings the money, and then
How do they know how much money to bring though?
So the buyer at closing. Is it 48 hours beforehand, you'll get an email from your agent or the title company or somebody will send you something.
Okay.
Saying you have to bring this amount, this amount, this amount. And that includes my fee and the other agent's fee.
Gotcha.
So, technically speaking, you are paying for a realtor to work with your realtor.
Technically speaking. Yeah.
But the way it goes, like, you're going into that deal and then the seller's, like, paying out me and everybody else.
So the seller technically pays you and everyone else.
Yeah, but you're bringing the money, so, like, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
So, basically what happens is the selling agent will talk about my commission.
Okay.
So he'll put my commission on the sheet and his commission, and for the overall commission. But usually, in Illinois, it goes, you do anywhere from like 5 to 6. I mean, some people can get 4. Redfin can go down to like 3% for like the whole deal. But it's like usually it's anywhere from 4 to 6, or I'll say 5 to 6 is like the average for like most like real estate companies.
Gotcha.
And then from there, let's say it's 6, you'll do 2.5.
A 2.5 split, and then 1% to the lender.
No, 2.5, and then you do the 2.5 to the buyer, and then the remaining to the agent.
Okay.
Or you'll do usually for buyers 2.5 always.
Okay.
Minus a fee, so it'll be like minus 200, minus 300.
Gotcha.
But like now they have like something where it's like on the private listing you can put as little as $1 for the buyer's agent.
Really?
So now you're gonna start. You might it doesn't happen very often. But now it's like, let's say if you're going to work with me, I'm going to have you sign a buyer's agreement saying at minimum I'm going to get paid 2%.
Gotcha.
So if it's a $1 fee, you're going to have to now come up with my fee.
Damn.
But it's not. It's like maybe you'll see it like 90. You won't see it 95% of the time.
Gotcha. So at 5% of the time you will see it then.
Maybe 5%. Even like that might be too high. Like I've only seen one agency it once so far.
Okay.
But that's why they're kind of pushing buyer representation agreements.
Yeah. Wow.
And they try to get like 2%. Like they're like, but like there's sometimes like there might be a situation where now there's like different situations that might occur because of this. But there's a lawsuit going on because of this, and like we'll see what happens in the next few years. But that's why I'm trying to also get it like really good at the selling side, so I don't have to worry about that.
Was it easy to switch from selling or from buying to selling then?
Well, I'm like just now going to start doing like advertisement. Like next year, I want to try to focus all, because it's like if I'm like, hey, I'm like a seller's agent, people are still going to come to me as buyers. Like it's like when people are like, we're like, oh, we like help first time home buyers. You still get everybody else. It's just like they're seeing you as first time home buyers.
Gotcha.
But I've like all the buyers I worked with. It's not really the place to be. It's a good, but it's like it's very hard to work with buyers because like their finance it's like they're financing like time because you have to go around 6. Like I'd rather kind of do the selling side. I'll still work with buyers, but I never understood why like this agent was like, oh, I only work with 4 buyers at once. I'm like, why would you ever want to do that?
Do you know why? So, well, obviously you know more than me, right? But given what I did with my buying process, I went to 13 different places within like 8 hours. And let's say if you as a realtor want to do that more than 4 people a week, that's a shit ton of time you're taking just for going to places.
Well, let me ask you this: you really want to do that? Like you're very special because you don't live there. If you live there, I'd have been like, let's break this up like into like a 2-day excursion, 2-3 day. I'll see if there's open houses. I'll send you the open houses.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to be there.
Yeah.
But that's a situation like when people are coming in from the state.
Situation.
It's a situation. Because I've had some clients like, hey, we need to like, I'm coming in from town. I need to see like XYZ amount of houses in that certain time frame. Yeah. And it's like, okay.
And you drive them around, right?
I don't.
You don't? Okay.
Because of COVID, that changed.
Okay. I didn't know.
I mean, I've had some clients I drove around, but it's like for me, it doesn't really it wouldn't bother me.
It doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
Damn, that's interesting.
Did your agent drive you around? You just hopped in their car?
Yeah, well, my cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But like here, they usually like they used to, but now I haven't seen any agents do it.
Yeah. Interesting.
I just drive my buyers around and they just meet me there at all the spots.
When you go to these type of new homes to inspect, or not inspect, but to tour for them, what are some key things that you note to the buyers?
I'm like, let's look at like the roof age, windows, AC unit, furnace. You really won't. You click eye to see how old they are, but the inspector will be able to tell you. And then and then hot water heater. It's like
Yeah.
Most of them have that when they're manufactured, so you can kind of gauge.
Yeah.
And I just could look to see, like, I'll look up to see if there's any stains, and then I'm like, I'll ask them, like, hey, how does this house, like, fit your needs? And I'll be like, listen, like...
And you're able to tell, given their response, to see which houses they'll probably prefer over others, correct?
Yeah, but, like... Okay. Well, also what's been happening is lately, like, people want to get very specific on their search, and I'm like, hey, like, let's, like, not get so specific. It up a little bit. Let's just keep it open. Let me send you everything that's available. If you see something you might like, if they're like, we want something new, it's like, okay, if I show them only new things, then I have to manually go in, find all these places, and send it to them. Or I could send them everything, and they could send me. It'd be like, so I try to, like, make it very general.
For sure. Do you ever have them send you what they want?
Yeah, like, I'll be like, hey, if you see some on Zillow, just send it over.
Gotcha, okay. That's what I mainly do, too. Because it's like, I don't want a realtor send me a bunch of crap where I can just look it up myself whenever I want.
They put you on, like, I put all my clients on a search.
The email notifications.
Yeah, I put them on a search, and I'll send them stuff, and then, like, from there, I'll kind of...
Yeah, go from there.
And I'll send them stuff, and then, like, if it gets to the point, like, where they're like, hey, they're asking for a lot, but, like, hey, like, I'll send it, like, I've had a few clients that, like, want some specific stuff, like, look, and I have to send it to them. But it is kind of time-consuming. I might not get to it, like, that's the other thing. I might not get to it till, like, nighttime or early in the morning, and then it's, like, or I might, like, if I have to go early in the morning, I might not get it till that night. So it's, like, really, like, I'd rather just have you on a search, have it sent 4 times a day. Yeah. And then, like, if I catch something, I'll send it, I'll, like, see it. Or if you catch something, just send it directly to me. Agreed.
And then one thing I have to ask, too, so... What's like the biggest no-no you could do as a realtor? Like the biggest thing that like completely revoke your license and that you've seen out there maybe or heard stories of?
There's I haven't heard any crazy stories, but I've actually only had one listing.
Really?
Yes, but it's like there's a lot going on, so I had to like cancel a listing. Like I only had it for like a week and I canceled it. There was a big no-no is you can't use other people's pictures. I know people get in trouble for that. So let's say if
you can't use other people's pictures.
Yeah. So like for a listing, let's say if like you can't like if I go to like I see it all the time though. People do it. Yeah. Like let's say if I get pictures taken, and then you're the buyer's agent, and you pull the picture from the MLS and you post it on your profile, that's a no-no.
Oh shoot! Because they didn't pay for those pictures.
Yeah. But even though it might not even be my picture, it might be the photographer's picture. And he's lending it to me. Depending, I don't even look. I just post it everywhere.
It's copyright infringement. Yeah. Right.
So there's that. The people get in trouble for that. People get in trouble for. I've heard like.
What kind of trouble are you referring to?
Like they get like ticketed through Main Street.
Damn.
There's like a list. I don't know. Like they showed it to us in the beginning, and I'm like, man, I hope I never make it on this list. Because it's a steep list, but like you're always supposed to have like your ID or like your official like renewal of license on you.
You do that every year, right?
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years. Gotcha.
I don't have it ever on me. If I get caught up, I'm gonna have to pull it up on Loop real quick.
Oh yeah, pull it. It's like having your car insurance.
Yeah, but like most people like ask for it like to have it, but like, I never do. I could call the office and ask them to send it to me. There's you're not supposed to like. There's like rentals are very big. People getting caught up. Yeah, there's like. It's like there's like different rules about the rental, how you have to like do stuff and know people. So the way you're supposed to do a rental is like, let's say if you apply, I'm supposed to take you through the process. Okay. And keep going, and if someone else does apply, they'll be next. Okay. No one does that shit. What happens is you apply.
You apply, and the first one to that like
as
signature.
Long as they make it, you're supposed to make it through. They're supposed to push them through. As long as they make all the requirements, you're supposed to push them through.
Gotcha.
Ain't nobody be doing that shit. What happens is you get a lot of people to apply, and you pick the best offer. You pick the best person,
which is kind of illegal.
Well, you're not supposed to do it.
It's frowned upon. Yeah.
Not many. Well, it's like I wouldn't say it's illegal, but it's like you're not supposed to get in trouble for it, and like a lot of people do. That's like one of the big things people get
in trouble for
rentals. Gotcha. So like a lot of people are like moving away from rentals because it's like there's so many times you get in trouble. But like you'll get agents that'll be like, hey, like listen, I'm not gonna look at your thing. What happens is you're going to send it to me, I'm going to forward it to the landlord, and he's going to handle everything on his end. And then everything's done out of house. I put it up, and that's it. So I don't get in trouble. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, a lot of people are getting in trouble. There's like this, that, a lot, the other. So then like, I still do it. Like, I I kind of will go like the way the landlord says it, but I'm like, hey, listen, if this person like makes all the requirements, let's push them forward.
Gotcha.
I always try to do like the first person that applies,
Yeah.
push them forward. We'll wait a little to push them forward.
Yeah, because you don't want to learn the hard way.
I'll wait a little, but like I'll be like, hey, like listen, like after like 2-3 days, like we should be pushing them forward.
Yeah.
Getting all their stuff ready. They meet all your requirements. Let's push them forward.
For sure. There's no need to have to wait around and to be a dick if just get an extra.
We've had some people that would make the requirements, but like my landlord waited and got someone better.
Yeah.
But we've had some very interesting situations with like rentals too, where like we had like a place in downtown Downers Grove we were renting out.
Okay.
And some dude like we had like somebody applied. They were making like 20. They were making like just enough to pass all the requirements.
Oh God.
And then somebody came in with like making $250,000 a year for their kids.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, we're gonna pick them. And then Buddy came in with 2 jobs, making $250 for both jobs. And I was like,
damn.
But he backed out, so we went with this other person.
You went with the $250,000.
And then we got a call because some more people applied, and they're like, listen, they're like,
damn,
why didn't we get it? Like my person's like my person's a dentist. He made a bunch of money. He should have been able to get this. I'm like, listen, he wasn't first. He wasn't second. You guys were third. We picked the offer before yours, but they did meet the requirements higher. They met a higher requirement, but we picked them because they were before you.
Interesting.
And they're like, okay, but like that was a wild one. We kept getting like people like doubling the income coming in.
Yeah.
Like,
damn, and you're able. Yeah, you are able to see incomes.
Yeah, because I asked for the last 2 months of pay stub.
Yeah, the last 2 months and the W-2 from the year before, right?
No, W-2 for the year before. I just want to know what you've been making the last... And then we call your company, but the company, I just asked if you're still working there. And then we do the background and credit.
Gotcha.
And then there's no way to... There's some places now where there's nowhere to verify employment, so you just have to give more pay stubs.
Gotcha. More pay stubs. Interesting.
But I did have... this is actually the last thing. I did actually get into...
Yeah, go ahead.
If you look at my Facebook Marketplace, I have a bad review.
You have a bad review?
I have a bad review. So I had this tenant... And I was like, listen, do you guys have credit? And they're like, yeah. So we ran them and they had no credit. And then it's a funny story. So they didn't have credit. And I was like, we need like at least like a 650 credit score.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, we got it. They had a zero, like nothing, like no credit history.
Zero credit score?
Well, they had no credit history. So the score came up where they had very little. And, I had to tell them like, hey, you're not going to be able, like, we can't rent this out to you.
And they gave you 1 star.
And he gave me like a 0 score and said, this is a scam. And I was like, well, I don't know, I was going through Facebook one day and I saw it and I was like, man, why do you gotta do that?
It's like being an Uber driver.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Like the landlord said no to him.
That shit's wild, bro.
So now like, every time I see that, I like laugh. I'm like, dang.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, moving forward though, everyone hit up Joe DeSilva, right?
Yeah, let me know
the main realtor.
Buy, rent, if you guys need to get on the podcast, and do you have any shout-outs?
Any shout-outs, man?
Friends, family.
I mean, shout-out, obviously, Jesus, right? Friends, family, everyone out there watching the podcast, thank you for taking the time to, watch me and Joe not only catch up, tell you guys some cool stories, and give you guys a little rundown on what we do for a living, what we've done to get to the point where we're at,
And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Have a good one.